Good afternoon. Thank you for being here this afternoon. We called this press conference because we wanted to say a special thank you to our state legislators, those in Jackson, who work diligently to try to help the city of Columbus with funding that we need to meet the needs of the citizens of this community. So they're all here, along with our council members who also spend time talking to these guys in Jackson. This year, we've got great news about funding $350,000 that we received for a much-needed fire truck in our area. And before the chief comes up to talk about that, I'd like to call State Representative Kabir Kareem up because he, as soon as I was elected, he was telling me about some work that he was doing in this area for the city. And with him being a former city council member, he has a unique understanding of the needs that the city has, and especially in the fire department.
Thank you, Mayor. I would be remiss if our delegation has worked really, really hard. Senator Turner Ford, Senator Chuck Younger, Dana McClain, Representative Dana McClain, Representative Lynn Wright, and myself. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our colleague, Representative Michael Ted Evans, who was on a training here, who came and said that he wanted to assist us to make sure that we had the fire truck that we needed for our community. So I want to make sure that he's recognized as well. Look, this is real special to me. I was on the city council back in 2014 when we had the opportunity of electing our first African-American fire chief, Mr. Martin Andrews. And I was proud to cast that vote. And I'm honored today to be before him as a going away present, to be a part of a delegation who felt fit to give the resources he needed to pass on to his interim chief and the fire department a fire truck. No man is an island in the legislature. It takes teamwork, it takes a lot of time and negotiation. And Mayor and Council, I'm just proud to be that conduit along with this delegation to make sure that you had the proper resources and the funding resources to get the fire truck you need, Fire Chief. So with that being said, I pass the podium back.
Chief,
Good afternoon. Very honored and privileged to come before you today. Today is a very special day in my career. It's my last one here at Columbus Fire and Rescue for the city of Columbus. Been here 35 years, have seen a lot of great things done. I want to thank the legislators, I want to thank representatives for doing what they did for the city of Columbus. As many times, many people don't know what all it took to get to the point that we're at now. We have worked tirelessly on this effort on getting this money appropriated for this fire truck, and we're very pleased at what has been done through our state. We're very fortunate here in Columbus to have these type of resources come to us, and very blessed. And I want to thank each and every one. I want to thank the mayor, the city council for their continued support of projects that we have took on. Like I said in the past, everything is not fun. I want to thank Representative Kabir. He has worked with me tirelessly to make sure that we be in the right place at the right time so that we will have the chance of receiving these funds. With these funds we're receiving now, we will be able to purchase a more needed fire truck that is going out of date, and that will put the city of Columbus years ahead. Thank you.
And one more thing before he leaves, Chief, this is one of the largest funding requests that any fire department has got. Was it this session?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to add that little bit to it. A little salt and pepper.
Did anybody else want to say anything? Well, I will also mention that we had originally thought that we were receiving an additional $1.4 million for City Hall, and we have since realized that that died in committee. And so we will not be receiving that at this time. So but we're very grateful for the $350,000 for the fire truck. Any funding that we can receive through state resources for the local level makes a big difference in the lives of our citizens. So again, we are very thankful to all of y'all for what you do, how hard you work on our behalf. There's a lot of work that goes in, and you can see from this last session that you never know what your day is going to be like in Jackson, do you? What I will say in my short time in office is that everybody that you see behind you has reached out to me wanting to try to help. We really appreciate the fact that they are engaged with us on a regular basis, and we hope to do even better in the coming years. So are there any questions for anybody that's here?
The question was asked, what would be the average length of time that the fire truck would stay in service with this money?
With that said, normally we get what we call custom built fire trucks. So through the State Rating Bureau, you get a 20-year initial time frame. And if you keep those records up to date, what you did to service and pump test, you get an additional 5 years. So there would be 25 years total that this truck would be able.
And how does this truck keep insurance rates low for residents? Can you explain how that works?
Yes, what it is now, this truck we're looking at will replace engine 23, which has a couple of years left on it on this 25 years. So once it comes and takes engine 23 place, then it starts to clock back over for this 25-year period, and we can maintain our class 3 with the equipment that we have on that part. So you will have an additional 25 years with this truck once it arrives.
And so how does that lower insurance rate for a homeowner? Because
of the equipment and the response that we have, the up-to-date trucks. If you don't have up-to-date trucks or trucks that are frontline pumpers, then they will gig you on your total points as far as what your fire rating can be. It could take us from a class 3 to maybe a class 4 or 5 if we don't have the proper equipment.
And higher is bad? Higher
is bad. 1 is the best, 1 to 10 is our rating, 10 being the worst, 1 being the best.
And
we are class 3.
And the other question that was sent in is the replacement of trucks is not voluntary. The state requires you to do this, right?
The state requires you to do it, but they don't make you do it. If you don't follow their guidelines, then they will take points off from your ratings, and they do it in different forms. You get so many points for having trucks in date and equipment that is needed. And also as many other factors that factor into your insurance rating, such as your water supply system and all of that. But yes, they will deduct points from it if you do not have the proper equipment.
Y'all have any questions? After? Okay.
I can't believe we have this many politicians in the room and nobody wants to come to the mic. That's got to be a first, wouldn't you say? Well, with that, we'll close the press conference. And again, thanks for being here, and thanks for those of you who are tuning in via Facebook.